Today on Exploring Scotland's History, we're going to visit a few more sites on the beautiful Isle of Bute. It's a mixed bag which really showcases the wealth of history this little island has to offer. Welcome to the channel. I can't stress enough how diverse the Isle of Bute is. It's literally divided by the Highland fault line, which makes it a geologist's dream, as it is in the Highlands and the Lowlands. The Isle of Bute Museum has a great display room focusing on the geology, flora and fauna of the island. It's worth making your first stop on a visit here, as it carries evidence of human occupation for thousands of years. We are at Scaly Point, and it has a really quite beautiful beach, but there's a lot of earthworks and groundworks that we should probably really discuss when we're here. Just about there is Scaly. It's one of numerous forts and duns that litter this coast. It is an Iron Age dun, and there are a lot of bits and pieces that were found on the dun with archaeology, and they are in the museum that we have visited. What is quite unusual about Scaly Dun is the wrecking that happened in World War II. It wasn't the enemy, it was the local volunteers who built guns into the curtain walls of the fortified dwelling and wreaked a wee bit of havoc where the stones were concerned. Bawn Wood is situated in the north of the island. It's not dog friendly currently, so we couldn't take wrecks. It was used as a decoy to the German Luftwaffe during the Second World War. Bunkers in the forest had controlled lights and set fire trails to appear like a runway in the darkness, basically throwing the enemy off the scent of the industrial River Clyde. The forest was never bombed, so thankfully the ancient oaks still thrive there. We will visit this site on a future visit. So that is Scaly, and as we pan round we have Scaly Beach, and there in the distance is where we are headed. That very point of headland is St Blain's ancient chapel, and there are a few more forts over on the main part of that headland as well, ones that have had serious archaeological work. St Blain's Chapel lies on the southern tip of the island. I have a video produced on this ancient place. It's a stone's throw from Donnagoy and Little Donnagoy, which we visit next. St Blain's Chapel is over that direction, and as we pan round we see this edifice. This is Donnagoy. It's one of the most important late Bronze or early Iron Age sites in Scotland. It was presumed to have been in use for upwards of 1,000 years, possibly right up until 1200. Its literal name translation is Fort of the Foreigner, which you would imagine may be referring to Viking raids. It could also be referring to the hogstone that you will see in the St Blain's video. I like a commanding view, and it has a commanding view and would be capable of really taking quite a lot of control of the Clyde and protecting it. Archaeologists have been very keen to have a look around Donnagoy and see what they could unearth for proof of who was there and what they were doing. And I will refer to some of the video I took in Bute Museum, and it'll sort of show you how much stuff was up there and the fact that that must have been heavily used for industry, for living for quite some time. Donnagoy is a vitrified fort, which would mean its stones had been subjected to extreme heat to almost fuse them together. Again, there's vitrified stone at the museum. I'll put it up now. We have taken another stop, so one from the road. I have my shirt on, even though it's lovely weather. The bracken is taller than me, and I don't want ticks if I can avoid it, so I'll just keep my shirt on. There's also flying ants this week, which is nice. Apparently they've come up from Spain. There's hundreds of them, and they're everywhere. And here it is. The stones are big on this one. There isn't a comment that I say about these, but these are often called witches' stones when they've split like this, because apparently it's the witches in a bad temper doing it. It's quite impressive. That's quite a height. The split stone is schist. Frost action would be the geologist's explanation of the split stone, but I prefer the witch's story myself. This one clearly came from the beach and has clearly been moved because rock doesn't sit in that sort of form out of the ground. And yes, it's on a concrete plinth. Still impressive though. This one has had a wee touch of graffiti on it. You know, a graffiti artist working on stone really has more patience. This is a large conglomerate block. There is quite a lot of graffiti on it, and apparently it also includes an incised cross. Blaine in the late 18th century described 7 stones in this group. This building in Ascog Bay is of 18th century construction. The plan was to burn coal to boil salt from seawater. This venture was short-lived, as getting the substantial amounts of quality coal to run the works proved completely fruitless. The bay, however, is a great place for wrecks to let loose and release some collie energy. St Colmax has been in a ruinous state since the 1980s due to a gradual depopulation. It was built around 1836 in the neo-Gothic design by Patterson of Largs for around £6,000. That was including the manse house. The belfry is quite striking, built in 3 stages. Unusual for its age, it featured a long communion pew with bench seating. There are many 19th and 20th century headstones here, but this one caught my eye. Archibald Lamont was a heritor. A heritor is a privileged person in a parish according to Scots law. He would have been responsible usually for contributing towards the minister's stipend, the schoolmaster's salary, poor rates and rogue money, which apparently were for preventing crime. He was made a heritor in accordance with the amount of land and wealth he held or was responsible for. That was a wee look at the wealth of varied history on the Isle of Bute. We do plan to return, as I still have a few unrecorded histories I would love to share with you all. Can I take this opportunity to thank those who support the channel through the Ko-fi page? I'll leave the link on the pinned comment below. I will also drop a link at the end to all the other videos that we have shot on the Isle of Bute. Until next time, thank you for watching Exploring Scotland's History.